Why did you come back?
Why did I come back?
Yeah.
Well, I love Jacksonville too much. No, it was a great opportunity. I definitely think we can win. Being with the new regime, seeing what they were going to do with Tony and everything. To me, it's just exciting. So I just want to be here. I want to win here in Jacksonville. So that's why I came back. It was a great opportunity.
So I think it was reported you had a couple offers, Detroit, I think a couple others
Yeah, it was. Yeah, pretty much it was Detroit at the time.
Okay.
But yeah, for me, it was an easy decision.
What was it, just being around Liam and company? Did you know any of them ahead of time? Was there any other connection on the side?
No, there was no other connection, but obviously you hear the type of character, the type of guy he is, that type of thing. So, yeah, that was kind of it, honestly. So, yeah, I love Jacksonville, so, I wasn't looking forward to leaving and moving my family, that type of thing. But I'm glad it worked out, yeah.
Not the first, won't be the last to say that one, for sure. When it came to the decision to release Evan, obviously someone who I know you grew fond of, the whole city grew fond of.
Absolutely.
How do you go through that as the position coach, but in working with the front office and accepting, hey, this is where the organization is headed?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the business side of things. He understood. It is what it is. It's I don't know if I have the influence to change anything like that, but you just got to move forward with it. I talked to Evan. We had a great conversation. We have a great relationship still, so I wish him all the best. But that's a decision that was made, and we just got to move forward with it. Yeah.
How much of it was just this idea of we want tight ends who can maybe have more of a blocking emphasis, maybe do a little bit more of everything? Obviously, Evan's blocking grew during his time here, but then also identifying some of those other guys in free agency that would be brought in to fill that role.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it just is kind of the decision that was made, you know what I mean? Not to say that he couldn't have fit in the system, not at all. But like I said, the decision was made, and you kind of just have to go with it. And Strange is a perfect fit for it, so I'm excited to see his growth and him stepping into that role and being able to handle all the all the responsibility that comes with it, and just kind of see where it goes.
Do you guys watch film of Cade Otton last year, or how do you prepare him for this offense?
Absolutely. I mean, Cade Otton and every other good tight end around the league, honestly. But yeah, definitely Cade Otton because of Tampa, and he's a good tight end too. Similar traits to Strange. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good fit. Good for him to watch, and good for all of us to learn from.
Yeah, because I think one thing that's interesting, and we just did a podcast on it, so that's why it's fresh in my mind. Liam ran 13 personnel, I think it was like 23 times before that Week 14 game against the Chargers, and then they ran it like 14 times or something like that in that game, and Cade had like 10 targets or something like that. So obviously that's like game planning, but certainly also accounting for no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, how do you adapt? But because of that, I think it's important for fans to understand this is not going to be the Tampa offense necessarily.
Yeah.
But at the same time, clearly by signing Hunter and Johnny, there is an emphasis on the tight ends, especially when it comes to the running game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it always is. Any offense, honestly, you got to have good tight ends that can do both, and that's what we did. We got good guys that can do both, and like I said, it's just fun. I'm excited to see their growth and see how this offense evolves. And every offense, evolves every year too. So, like I said, just putting everybody in the best situation, just seeing how that affects us in a positive way.
So, how would you describe this offense compared to other offenses you've been on staff with?
Well.
Without giving away all the secrets, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely very tight end friendly, especially in the run game and stuff. So those things are exciting. And like I said, we're just evolving into it, So maybe ask me a little bit later. Yeah.
What do Jaguar fans need to know about Hunter and Johnny and blanking on his name? Quentin.
Quentin.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a blue collar room. They come to work every day. They're humble. They're just trying to make each other better. Not necessarily all the flash, but you'll see a lot of good football from those guys. Yeah.
For you, as somebody who was a more blocking tight end, we'll call it, is there moments where you're just bursting with pride seeing those guys, or would you say hey, I don't know, I talked to Hunter a few weeks ago, you can make the argument maybe this is the moment in his career where he becomes more of a flex wide or flex tight end,
Yeah.
and maybe more of a threat in the receiving game.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, for me, because I was a blocker, I'm always looking at that. I tend to kind of lean that way, honestly. But for sure for Hunter, I'm excited to see. He's done a good job showing up, practicing the right way, doing all the little things. Him and Johnny doing a great job as far as helping with the system and helping the other guys who were here, Bowman and Strange, obviously, of just bringing them along on the field. They've done a great job with him too. So, just looking forward to seeing the growth.
I don't think people realize that you were an assistant offensive line coach too at one point in time. So,
absolutely.
What have you seen from Sean and his staff?
They do a great job. A lot of good energy, camaraderie, good communication from those guys. So, I'm impressed with what they've done so far.
Did you know any of them before they got here?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No. The only people I knew really were the guys who got held over, honestly. So, it was pretty much a new start for me, I guess. Yeah.
Have you been in a situation like that before?
No, that was the first time I've been through it.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate. This is only my second place I've been since I've been in the NFL, which is awesome. I feel really blessed about that. But no, it was all new for me. So hopefully we don't go through that again anytime soon. So yeah.
I'm doing the math here. So Mekari would have been in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I think you would have been on the staff that signed him, right?
Because I was in the O-line room when we brought him in. So
right.
I know Mekari well. He's a great guy. And honestly, I told the tight ends about him too, because he does a heck of a job of just preparing himself the right way, doing all the little things, whether it's a walkthrough, practice rep, whatever. He's always locked in, does a great job of communicating, just leading others. So it's good. It's good to have him.
Because he was undrafted, right? So
correct.
How do you know how they found him in Baltimore?
I'd like to believe that I found him.
Oh, so let's hear the origin story then. I need to hear this.
Well, honestly, when you're the assistant line, usually your list involves most of the free agent guys. So definitely, I felt like I had the first eyes on him. But obviously, they did a great job. Scouting department doing all their homework as well. But yeah, I kind of like to feel like I got my first eyes on him.
How'd you find him?
Obviously, it's from a list that they gave us. Yeah, but you go through and you pick out the guys who you think fit the best in our system and fit the room. And he was one of those guys, and obviously he came in, did the right things, and he flourished.
So you just pop in the tape, and you're just like, oh, this is the guy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
it wasn't
absolutely.
like any crazy,
No.
traversing.
And there was other guys that we liked too, and there was other guys that we signed. So it wasn't like he was the only one type of thing. So I don't want to give myself too much credit, but I do like to feel like I had a hand in that process. Yeah, for sure.
The origin story starts here.
Absolutely.
So now it's come full circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Describe the month of January for me. Here in this building, for you personally, like what was the month of January like?
It was odd, honestly. It was odd. A lot of just unknown. I had never went through that part of it, but that's part of the business. That's what we signed up for. Obviously in your career you expect it to happen at some point, but really just a lot of sitting and waiting, seeing what happens, and hopefully your body of work is good enough to be retained, and that's what you're hoping for. And not that that's all that matters. That's all that factors in. Obviously there's some good coaches that didn't stay, but you just kind of got to wait and see, and that's part of the process. That's part of the job, honestly.
Do you talk to any of the other three who were retained at all, like during that process?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us were talking, but you still have relationships with the guys. It's not like it's pure just business. So there's definitely a lot of communication back and forth for sure. So.
And now here we are. So we'll end on this, Richard. How is this building different today than it was 365 days ago?
I think it's, Liam brings a lot of good young energy, you know what I mean? He does a great job. I think guys kind of gravitate to it, so it's just exciting. He brings kind of excitement. He's a good teacher. He does a great job with the room, and guys listen, so it's exciting. Like I said, with him and Tony, just doing a heck of a job in the building and just getting everything straightened out in the building as well, not just, with coaches in the locker room. So it's awesome. It's awesome to see. It's awesome to see going in the right direction. And like I said, I'm glad I'm on board. For sure, yeah.
Because it's like those little things, right, that Tony's doing that I don't think people realize from the outside. Like, what are some of those things that maybe, like, people don't realize? Like, someone's got to account for that in an NFL building.
It's just, honestly, it's just, everyone, who's a part of the organization has to do their best. And, however he gets to it, however he makes this machine run the smoothest is what's exciting to watch. And so that's kind of what I'm referring to. Not necessarily any one thing here or there, but just to see kind of, everybody focused on one vision type of thing. So it definitely is exciting.
I'm just thinking like equipment and like all those little like administrative things too that I know he's told us that like that'll fall under Baselli's jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Those things that people don't realize, like that's either that's either on the head coach or the GM, and sometimes maybe in other organizations that gets lost in the shuffle.
I see what you're saying. No, for sure. I mean, everyone has a hand in winning and losing here, so for sure. It takes a lot of people just to get to Sunday. People that help us as coaches, that help the players, the support staff. So he does a great job, and the people here do a great job of helping everybody too. So it's been great.
So last one, guys. Let's see, is JP coming here? No, he's going there. You're with John Harbaugh. You obviously were here with Jack. But some of the great coaches that you've been a part of, are there, maybe it's different with Liam? Are there things that you say, oh, that's something that John would have done? Have there been moments like that so far?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, John's obviously one of the best at it, and the level of accountability that he has in that building, it almost runs on its own. Yeah. And to see what Liam's building here is heading that way. So, like I said, it's exciting. Yeah.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.